When love goes wrong, there's always casualties. One cold night in Nova Scotia will forever chill the bone.
I'm just here to reach out to my daughter, Carissa.
It's the saddest moment imaginable.
Want you home.
A mother begging a nation to find her child.
Please just reach out to someone.
12-year-old Carissa Budro has been missing for 2 days in terrible, cold weather.
If there's anyone out there who's seen her, please call.
Her mother, Penny, is desperate. But it is all a lie. What the community doesn't see is an angry mother constantly at odds with her daughter.
We are not going home! Just let me out of the car, I'll walk home! You are not getting out of the car! You're ruining my life! Oh, I'm ruining your life!
Penny's parenting is going badly.
You are making me crazy! You are pushing me! Oh my God! Just let me out of the car!
When her 12-year-old daughter would be upset, screaming and yelling, as 12-year-old girls are prone to do, Penny got right there with her.
Mom, I want to go home! You keep pushing me, I tell you!
Acting like another 12-year-old, screaming and yelling.
Stop screaming at me! You're just keep pushing me! I hate you, I hate you, I hate you!
But on this cold night, the arguments will stop.
I'm telling everybody in school what a bitch you are!
Carissa got out of the car, and Penny tackled her.
You're a psycho!
She would have attempted to gasp for air, at the same time looking into the eyes of her mother.
Penny reports her daughter missing.
Initial indication was, okay, this is an upset child. She may have run off, and she may be hiding with a friend.
It starts as a routine case for Bridgewater police officer John Collier.
Usually with our efforts, we are able to locate the young person within 48 to 72 hours.
Your friend Sarah's worried sick.
This didn't happen.
Please just reach out to someone. Let
The
us know
press
you're okay.
conference yields few
If
leads.
there's anyone out there who's seen her, please call.
How could it?
The fact that Penny went in front of a camera and made pleas to the public as the broken-hearted mother
I just want to tell you, lots of people who love you.
speaks to her evil nature.
Two weeks later, Carissa's body is found. Where and how her mother left her.
Carissa was found with her jeans pulled partway down, one leg on, one leg off. Her underwear were down. She didn't think the body would be found for quite some time, and she believed that people would think that Carissa had been sexually assaulted, and that would aid her case.
Bridgewater is in mourning and in panic at the thought of a sexual predator on the loose.
This is a community that had not experienced any kind of crime like this, or a disappearance like this. There was that, who did this? Are they living amongst us? And is it going to happen again?
In January 2008, the Canadian town of Bridgewater, Nova Scotia, is shocked by the brutal murder of a young girl.
There were numerous concerns within the community that there was possibly someone who was out there sexually assaulting children.
But the truth is far more disturbing.
Look at myself in a state of fright.
The victim, Carissa Budro, was like any other 12-year-old. And so is her mother.
What the hell have you been saying about me at school?
You better not have broken my stereo.
Answer the question!
I don't
Penny's extreme immaturity is highlighted by the fact that when her daughter would be upset and maybe screaming and yelling,
Mother, I hate you.
Well, I hate you!
Penny, rather than acting like the adult, would start screaming and yelling
You're a
also.
little brat. You better tell me what you said!
The period.
Oh, get out of my room.
Her boyfriend,
Stay here.
Vernon
You tell me
McCumber,
the truth.
is tired of the constant arguing.
Well, that was real constructive, wasn't it?
Don't you start.
I'm supposed to stay here and put up with all this crap? Well, I had enough. I'm leaving.
Vernon, don't say that.
I'm serious. Either she goes or I go.
He did not mean it by the way of ultimately you should murder her, but he meant that she either has to go back to her father or the relationship is over.
Penny doesn't take any chances. To keep her lover, she murders her flesh and blood.
How could you do that?
I did this for
How could you?
It's a shocking choice
Your own daughter.
that no one can imagine
Ben, you talk to me.
until there is a surprising breakthrough.
The neighbors of theirs actually overheard Penny Budro and Vernon McCumber arguing in their apartment.
You gave me an ultimatum!
I had nothing to do with this. You disgust me.
Mr. McCumber, of course, making certain statements to the fact of, Penn, why did you do this?
I did it for us! You said her or me!
That's not what I meant, you crazy bitch.
We were looking at potentially the mother and Vernon McCumber being involved in Carissa's death.
Both are arrested on suspicion of murder. Although Vernon believes Penny is the murderer, he says nothing. Without a confession, police pin their hopes on an elaborate sting.
I've recruited for him before, so he trusts me. Don't you worry about that.
They had put the undercover operator in first with the boyfriend,
No promises till he meets you, though, okay? Yeah, of course.
became confident of him,
I'm definitely interested.
indicated to him that he was part of a cross-country crime organization originating out of Montreal, that they could possibly use his help in around this area.
That's it.
Once released, the couple is eager to make some easy money.
Understood.
They very quickly felt that he had nothing to do with it, and then switched the investigation to centering on Penny Budro.
Penny confides to the fictitious crime syndicate.
Every couple of months, they come back and they tell me they found something new.
Her fear that the police are on her trail.
You know, I just wish that police vault would blow up or burn down.
Well, if you get picked for this job, maybe something can be arranged.
The undercover cop offers her a deal. If she kills for them, they will get rid of the police evidence.
I can do this.
How do I know you're not gonna chicken out at the last moment? A lot of people do.
I told you, I've killed before. I can prove it. I'll take you where it happened and show you things only I could know.
Okay, let's do it.
Penny walks straight into the police trap. And before hidden cameras, reveals more than could be imagined. She reenacts her brutal crime.
It was chilling to watch the videotape of how cavalier she discussed the murder of her daughter.
Hands behind her back. I had to get my knee on her just to hold him down. I got my twine. Just pulled it.
She told the undercover operator she put the twine around her neck and strangled her daughter as she was staring her in the face.
I don't really hold it down a bit.
She wanted to talk about what she did. She was proud about what she did.
Stronger than her. She didn't last too long.
And too stupid to remain quiet about it.
Okay.
Penny Budro seals her own fate. She pleads guilty to second-degree murder and is sentenced to life in prison.
There were like 100 people there. They stood outside and they jeered and they shouted and they shouted obscenities at her and they called her names. We've never seen that here. People were just angry.
Tragic thing is, a 12-year-old child who hadn't hurt anybody is no longer with us.
Penny Budro is a monster. She is the poorest excuse of a mother I've ever seen.
I don't know. My mom, she's dead in the tub. Does she have a pulse? No, I don't want to touch her. She's underwater.
Toronto, Canada, 2003. Two teenage girls find their mother, Shirley, floating in her bath.
The 911 operator gave clear instructions on starting to start CPR.
Hey, do you know anything about CPR? No.
The girls have called for help,
I can't. I don't know. I don't want to touch her. She's underwater.
but they're not following instructions.
The operator was almost pleading with them to at least, get her out of the water, and there was a refusal on their part to do any of that.
By the time police arrive, their mother will be dead. Investigating officer Mike Pulley was one of the first on the scene.
They were 15 and 16, somewhat upset, visibly upset. Didn't seem to be anything out of the ordinary.
Officer Pulley starts piecing together a picture of the victim. A single mom with a drinking problem, working 2 jobs to keep the family afloat.
She was doing the best she could do in the given situation, which was probably a pretty good job, given the financial ability she had.
But her daughters, Sandra and Beth, don't think she's doing enough for them and their stepbrother.
Some of their friends had swimming pools, they had nice cars, nice clothes, and they had hand-me-downs and shopped at discount stores and didn't have the nice running shoes or designer jeans, and they sort of felt entitled to this. They wondered, well, why didn't we have that?
The girls want things to change quickly.
Drowning is most often quick and unspectacular. An asphyxiating person seldom calls for help.
If their mother died, they would get somewhere in the neighborhood of $68,000 apiece between the 3 of them.
They're planning to stage an accident.
The brain will die after approximately 6 minutes without oxygen.
A guidance counselor mentioned that they were the smartest kids he had ever seen in 30 years of teaching. They spoke 5 different languages.
They scour the internet, collating the best advice from around the world.
They found 14,000 hits on the hard drive for drowning, the word drowning. And they found another 200 or 300 hits for codeine, and there were 100 hits on bathtub.
They've already worked out how to spend the money.
So, how much you guys gonna get?
70,000
each.
They plan to take all their friends on this big European vacation and live the high life.
You guys get me set.
Their dream was to buy a marijuana farm and have a nice house. That was it. And for that reason, they killed their mother.
Their crazy teen logic isn't new to criminal profiler Candice DeLong, but the detailed preparation is highly unusual.
For a teenage killing, this one had much more planning than any I've ever seen. These girls are dangerous.
Wait, does that mean if you guys do it Friday, you won't make it to TJ's party on Saturday?
Crap, I didn't think of that. We can't miss TJ's
The
party.
girls plan murder like a high school musical and share their plans with their friends.
Why don't you hold off a week?
Can't risk it.
They had friends that for months helped them plan the crime, and it was a murder of their mother.
Yeah, we're gonna have the best party.
The fact that their friends knew about it and never went to police, never went to their parents, never went to anybody. Really, like, everybody was involved in this.
Yeah, our place is gonna be the new party pad. Yeah.
Their silence will prove deadly. Teen sisters Sandra and Beth are about to come into money once they fix Mom a drink. Each Saturday afternoon, Shirley has a few vodkas before taking a warm bath. Today, she gets a special treat.
At some point, we're not exactly sure what point, they started introducing the codeine pills.
The sisters' research tells them alcohol and painkillers will slow their mom's heartbeat.
Thanks, huh? 100 pills?
She'll become sedated and pliable. As they wait for the drugs to work, the teens go online to update friends.
At one point, the older girl tells, you know, I feel like I'm going on a vacation. That's how she describes the feeling about to kill her mother.
If Twitter had existed when this murder occurred, she probably would have tweeted about it to her friends. Her need to be connected was stronger than the need to remain silent.
The girl ends this conversation with, "Good luck, wear gloves." It's such a macabre thing to say to somebody who is just about to kill their mother.
For years, the girls have watched their mom drink away money. Money they want to spend.
By now, she's very impaired by the alcohol and the codeine, and she just followed along any lead they said. They led her to the bath.
But this is Shirley's last drunken Saturday.
That's it, move it in.
She's going to have an accident.
There you go. How's that, Mom? Temperature's good? Yeah. comfortable?
That's good.
Okay, so I'm just gonna turn you over. I'm just gonna wash your back, okay?
Turn over. Dad's just gonna wash your back.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Once she was in the bath, the older sister at that point then just reached down and held her head underwater.
Sandra knows exactly how long it will take.
And she found out that it took between 2 and 6 minutes to drown. She split the difference. She actually held her mother's head under the water with a latex glove for an entire 4 minutes. Until the mother actually was dead.
That's 4 minutes.
She told people that it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It was a little bit of struggling, but that was just the body's reflexes, but it actually went off much better than she thought.
But we have to catch the bus.
The sisters then join their friends to establish an alibi
Got us so over. You guys can move in with us.
and share the good news. The girls have pulled off the perfect murder.
Who thinks that 2 15 and 16-year-old girls would have the gumption to kill their mother, and especially in the planning they did?
I can't do it.
You have to do it.
I'll screw it up. You have to do it.
No, we rehearsed this. You can do it.
I can't pull it off.
Please.
Please, you have to do this.
Later that night, the sisters report a family tragedy. With their mother's history of alcohol abuse, authorities buy it.
They're very good actors. They were giving out the emotions, oh, we're sad, let's put some tears on here, let's look upset.
But she's not moving at all.
Okay, calm down.
The sisters receive sympathy from family and kudos from their friends. The secrecy pact with their social network holds strong. Until 1 year later, alcohol and hubris start loosening Sandra's lips.
She just kept telling everybody when she got drunk.
Well, she was on her way out. I mean, we're just speeding up the process.
I think she wanted people to know that she had outsmarted not only the adults, but she had outsmarted the police. She had outsmarted a coroner.
But she was really unhealthy. She was crying about her all the time.
The older sister is the kind of person who needs to connect with people and needs to share information, needs to share every aspect of her life.
Teenage sharing unravels the perfect plan.
You actually drowned her, right?
Well, sort of, yeah, I guess.
Police crack the social network and convince a friend to secretly record Sandra's confession.
It was either her or me, and I'm younger. I saw myself as having more potential.
It was a very bone-chilling thing to see. Her acknowledgement was one of, almost seemed like pride, and one of, very pleased with the outcome.
Indicted by her own words, Sandra is tried and convicted of first-degree murder, along with her sister.
Their mother, who loved them, who worked 2 jobs so that they would have an okay home.
At just 15 and 16, they receive a youth sentence under Canadian law of 10 years and gain parole after just 4. Their whole lives are ahead of them.
Deep down inside, these were narcissistic, greedy, little murderers.
Today, the sisters are in their 20s, attending college. Canadian law will protect their true identity forever.
They could be your neighbor. They could be your child's babysitter. They could be your coworker. They could be your girlfriend.
Miami, a vacationer's paradise. But in the early 80s, the city is riding a different wave.
Money, cocaine. Cocaine, $50,000. It was all money, money, money.
It's the hub of a billion-dollar drug industry.
They just couldn't spend it fast enough.
And America's murder capital.
The bullets were everywhere.
A crime-ridden city.
The cops were just outgunned.
Paradise lost. We had never experienced shootouts with machine guns in shopping malls and shootouts with machine guns in rush hour traffic, but we did experience that with the Colombian drug wars.
Al Singleton lived through those wars as a cop in Miami's homicide division.
Our homicide rate in 1980 went from approximately 300 a year to 600 a year. So life changed dramatically in the early 80s in Miami.
Across the city, ruthless men battle for control of Miami's cocaine trade. But the meanest, richest, most powerful drug lord of them all is a woman. Griselda Blanco, the godmother of cocaine.
I think Griselda rose to the top of the ultra-violent world of drugs because she was the baddest of the bad, and she was a woman.
Before, there had never been a woman with that much power and that much control in the drug business anywhere.
The secret of Griselda's success is a total disregard for human life. Over 100 people are murdered by her hand or her order.
Hey, DeLong, come here. How did you go? Okay. Don't mess with me. How did you go?
For every killing carried out by her assassins, she demands gruesome proof.
There you did good. Very good.
She had to prove her stature. She had to prove her ruthlessness.
But Griselda does the most personal killings herself.
What are you talking about, Griselda?
She gained the nickname of the Black Widow because she had some of her husbands killed when either they disagreed with her or wouldn't do things she wanted. It was not a wise decision to be married to Griselda Blanco.
Griselda Blanco's violent rise to the top of the drug world begins at the very bottom.
She started in Colombia. She came from a very poor family, had a very rough childhood, was prostituted over there.
¿Entendiste, señorita? ¿Le haces caso?
Raised in a slum, she's treated as a commodity to be bought and sold.
No, no quiero. Váyase, por favor. Váyase, por favor. No, 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 no.
Age 16, she uses forged documents to escape to the United States.
She decided to stop being the victim and become the victimizer, and that worked out well for her. It didn't work out for very many people that met her, though.
Watching Griselda's rise to infamy was Miami cop Nelson Andrew.
Things just fell into place for her, and she became the number one in South Florida and Colombia.
Griselda orders murders as readily as other businesses order stationery. But one killing will shock even hardened cops. It begins when Griselda puts out a contract on one of her own hitmen, Chucho Castro.
Once they determined where Chucho had been living, they surveilled the house. They saw his car leave the garage of his home one day. They decided to follow it.
But the killers don't know that Chucho is not alone.
They did not see the fact that in the front seat of the car next to the driver was his son.
Miami, 1982. A city under siege in the cocaine wars.
Working Friday and Saturday nights was the hot time. It was going sometimes homicide to homicide. And the greater majority of them were drug-related.
Of all the murders, one leaves a terrible mark. Chucho Castro is taking a drive with his son, Johnny. He's unaware he's the target of a contract hit, ordered by the godmother of cocaine, his boss, Griselda Blanco.
The van pulls alongside of them. They slide the door of the van open, and they start machine gunning the car.
Incredibly, the bullets miss Chucho. His son, Johnny, is not so lucky.
Once he escaped, realized his son had been killed. He drove back home. Really didn't know what to do. He couldn't call the police because he was wanted himself. Took the baby back home. Put ice in a bathtub. Put the baby in the bathtub to preserve him. Spent the night crying with this baby.
Meanwhile, the hitman Rivy fears he could pay for the mistake with his own life.
Do not bring me bad news.
It was very close.
No close, no close. What's the matter with you, you miss? You're stupid.
Look at the little son. It was an accident.
You got the boy? You got the little chiquito? This is fantastic.
Even a cold assassin like Rivy is shocked by Griselda's reaction.
Griselda had no feelings whatsoever for the fact that the life of an innocent 2-year-old child was taken because of her order.
You shot the little boy.
I don't understand.
It's just a heartbreaking story. And when you think about what a shame it was that this baby had been killed, and the glee that Griselda took in the fact that they were successful in killing this baby, you know, words can't describe how evil this is.
Criminal profiler Candice DeLong believes the seed for this evil was planted in Griselda's childhood.
Griselda grew up in poverty, her mother turning her out as a prostitute, her mother's boyfriends raping her. I don't think there was anything bad that didn't happen to this woman.
Cruelly abused as a child, Griselda grows up to become the cruelest abuser of them all.
Griselda's upbringing was extremely violent, neglectful, and depraved. That ended up being the very world she became queen of.
But in the mid-1980s, Griselda's empire comes crashing down. Her hitman, Rivi, is arrested and decides to testify against her. It looks like the godmother is headed for death row. But Rivi is deemed an unreliable witness, and the woman linked to dozens of murders takes a plea bargain in return for just 20 years in prison.
There is no one that deserves to be on death row more than Griselda Blanco. The fact that our case fell apart because of witness problems, to this day, enrages me.
Griselda Blanco is released in 2004 and deported to Colombia. Today, her exact whereabouts are unknown.
The fact that she has not been killed in retribution by some of her enemies, I will never understand. But that's apparently the situation, and that's just the way it is. And apparently she's living large in Colombia as we speak.
Griselda's world was kill or be killed. And if you're gonna be a killer, be the best. And she was.
When 19-year-old Ashley Laney walks into a new gym in Tampa, Florida, she's intimidated by the hard bodies. Ashley's only recently left home. She's shy, lacking confidence, but immediately attracted to hotshot instructor Tracy Humphrey.
He's nearly 20 years older than her. He's an authority figure, and she immediately falls for this guy.
When you first meet Tracy, he gives you the impression that he really knows what he's doing. He's very confident and seems to really want to help people.
Toby White trained with Tracy at the gym, watching him move in on Ashley.
She was very bubbly, innocent. I started to feel protective of her. I could see how naive she was, how innocent she was.
Weeks later, Ashley's whole life has been transformed. She has a new body and a new love. But she's made a mistake. She's in the clutches of a monster.
Tracy Humphrey's background is littered with violence against women.
He had a very lengthy criminal history, spent time in prison. There were previous cases of him battering women in the past.
One victim is former girlfriend Sandy Razzo.
You don't say no to Tracy Humphrey, because he will get back at you for it. And Sandy Razzo said no to him more than once, but not this weekend. She says no, and he violently beats her and rapes her. She files sexual assault, rape charges against Tracy, And this becomes the beginning of the end for Sandy Razzo.
Tracy's new girlfriend, Ashley, isn't putting up a fight.
He's not only training her physically, he's training her mentally.
According to author M. William Phelps, he wants total control of Ashley.
He understands her, he reads her well right away that this is a girl with zero self-esteem. And all I have to do is tell her what she wants to hear, and she's gonna be my puppet. She's gonna do anything I want.
He's chosen the perfect target. Ashley craves the control of a powerful man.
The men in Ashley's background were hardly stellar examples of what a man should be. Her father spent most of Ashley's life in prison. Her brother was in and out of juvenile facilities. Men who have a need to control women, to control everything in their life, would not be attracted to a strong, independent woman. They are attracted to women who are looking for daddy.
One more. This is for us. Look at me.
That's exactly what Tracy wants. He needs a puppet to take care of some deadly business. Tracy's rape case is looming, and he cannot let his victim, Sandy Razzo, testify.
Tracy Humphrey had made a deal with himself. He would never, ever go back to prison. And he knew that a sexual assault case, a rape case, could put him in prison for 10 to 15 years, maybe 20 years.
Naive, vulnerable, Ashley will do anything for her man. To make sure she does, Tracy seals the deal with a wedding.
Tracy and Ashley get married inside the gym, go out for Chinese food for the reception, and for the nightcap, Ashley's gonna commit murder.
Ashley was only dangerous to one person in the world, and it was the person Tracy wanted her to kill.
At age 19, Ashley Humphrey should be putting on makeup for a night out with friends. Instead, she's getting made up for murder.
She had what she called a murder kit, and in that murder kit was oversized clothes, baggy clothes, oversized shoes, and black face paint.
He figured witnesses, if they saw her, would think, it's just a black guy. They would describe the killer as a black guy. And that's what he wanted, to throw off the scent.
From the safety of his couch, Tracy Humphrey will commit murder by remote control.
Yeah.
Okay, put it on.
Put it on your hands.
No.
I want you everywhere. I want you to look like a black man, okay?
Tracy is a violent rapist, up on a serious charge. Ashley's job is to silence the only witness, Tracy's victim, Sandy Razzo.
Ashley agrees to murder her for Tracy. And the reason she does this is simple. She wants his love. She wants his love. She wants everything he's promising her.
Tracy and Ashley's relationship can, I think, be pretty well described 2 words: master and slave.
On Tracy's orders, Ashley follows Sandy home from work.
Ashley was young and impressionable, but most importantly, she had a very, very strong need to be controlled by a man. In that regard, she was a sitting duck when Tracy came along, because he needed a woman to control.
Sandy pulls up in front of her condo. drives in the driveway, pulls into the garage, does not close the garage door.
From across town, the puppet master now dials in her death.
When you're done.
And he's telling her, you go and you do it. Then she runs into the garage. She grabs the pistol and she points it directly at Sandy Razzo's face. She begins to fire.
Sandy Razzo was shot 8 times. It was not the first shot that killed her. There was an apparent struggle. There were some shots that hit Miss Razzo in her extremities, others that hit her in, the body, and then there was one that was in her head. It would be a horrific way to die.
Before this, Tracy had said, make sure you look into her eyes and you see the life drain from her eyes.
I still can't get past the fact that she, on her own, walked up to somebody and shot them 8 times.
I think for Ashley, killing Sandy was a pretty easy thing to do because it was just one thing she had to do to keep Tracy in her life, and that was the most important thing.
Tracy thinks he's pulled off the perfect murder. His accuser is dead. He has a rock-solid alibi. But Tracy's need for control will bring him undone. Sergeant Scott Galzewski says cell phone records gave his team a vital clue.
Her cell phone was pinging off of towers shortly after the 911 call was made. And prior to that, they were pinging off of the towers which were right by the location where Sandy Razzo worked at. So we started thinking, she possibly was the one that, committed the homicide.
It's gonna be okay. We can help you.
Away from Tracy's menacing influence, Ashley crumbles.
She wanted me to do it.
Who wanted you to do it?
Tracy. She was making up lies about him. He was gonna go to prison.
Ashley is not a stupid woman. There is no indication she wouldn't have had a very good life if she'd used her own brain. But she surrendered it. Her need to be loved by a man, a brutish man, took control of her life.
She needs someone to tell her what to do. And she met, really, Satan. She met the ultimate evil.
Ashley and Tracy Humphrey are both found guilty of murder. Tracy gets life. Ashley will spend 25 years behind bars.
Ashley ended one life and threw her own life away because she thought she needed a man.
I really believe had Ashley never met Tracy Humphrey, she would have never killed anyone in her life.
Press County 201.
76
Roger that.
There are certain women who are attracted to cops.
Cop County, we got a job 791.
Right around it.
Roger.
Lynn Turner is one of those women.
Some women have a neurotic attraction to power.
Good, even better I've seen you.
And uniforms, badges, they represent power and authority in our society.
Working in police radio dispatch, the glamorous 22-year-old is surrounded by the men she craves. But Lynn Turner's smile hides a darker side.
She has an aggressive personality, a manipulative personality, a controlling personality.
In Cobb County, Georgia, police officer Mike Archer knew her as a woman to keep well away from.
She didn't have a real good reputation, and she was just kind of sneaky.
Lynn was dangerous to any man who had a wallet and a badge.
After hours, Lynn stalks the officer's favorite bars in Marietta, Georgia. It's here she meets Officer Glenn Turner.
Glenn didn't have any enemies. Glenn just got along with everybody, and he was very gullible. Just a very easygoing, likable, big teddy bear guy.
Singled out by the sexy brunette, Glenn falls quickly under her spell.
Fairly attractive lady. And for Glenn, it was, Glenn wasn't the best looking guy. He wasn't in the best physical shape. He wasn't chiseled or anything, but, and for Glenn, Lynn was a catch.
Just 2 months later, Glenn announces his engagement.
I was just shocked. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Simply because her background didn't fit Glenn's personality.
I missed you. I missed Jetta.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, let me pop.
It seems like a happy marriage. But Glenn soon finds his classy wife is a big spender.
Sweetheart. So, tell me about your day.
Lynn would use sex and gifts to get a man interested in her. But once she married Glenn, the sex stopped. She wasn't really in love with him. She was in love with what his money could do for her.
2 years on, Glenn Turner has had enough. He wants a divorce. But Lynn wants his money. And she'll get more if her husband is dead. Then, Glenn is struck by a mystery illness.
I mean, he just called me on the phone and said, I'm just so sick. I've had extreme diarrhea. I mean, I'm throwing up. I've been throwing up for 2 days. I can't stop. I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel like I'm about to die.
Days later, the healthy police sergeant is dead.
Sergeant Judith Fannin, who had called me and told me that they'd found Glenn dead in bed.
Mr. Detective, I came up here to see if he wanted a glass of water, and he was dead.
Instinctively, Glenn's police buddies are suspicious.
I took him to the hospital earlier, and they sent him home. They said he'd be okay.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
We had the discussion about the possibility that Lynn had done something to Glenn. And everybody was in agreement that we thought something had happened.
But the autopsy says a virus simply caused Glenn's big heart to stop.
Get me out of here.
I accepted it. I said, okay, he got sick, and he pretty much, that's what got him.
After the funeral, Lynn collects Glenn's insurance payout and quickly leaves town, straight into the arms of a new police officer, Randy Thompson. Six years later, Mike Archer gets a chilling phone call.
76 floor, no 10.
And I said, what is it? He goes, no, you really need to sit down. I sat down, and he said, they found Randy, and Randy was about 32 years of age. He said, they found Randy dead in his bed yesterday morning.
His mind races to one conclusion.
I mean, then I knew she had done something. I knew they were going to be connected. I mean, I was just skin, my hair was all up on the back of my neck. I mean, it was just my heart was pounding. I said, something's up, something's up.
Lynn Turner loves a man in uniform.
There were two things in life very important to Lynn. One was that her husband be a cop. The other was that she be able to spend a lot of money.
The problem is, Lynn's men in uniform keep dying.
Lynn was a black widow in every sense of the word. She mated, she killed, and moved on to the next person.
When 32-year-old Randy Thompson falls ill, it seems like a severe flu.
He was treated for the symptoms, diagnosed with gastritis, and then released with medication.
Come on, keep it.
People talked to him the next day. He seemed to be getting better. So it was a surprise then when he was discovered dead.
On its own, Randy's death doesn't seem strange. But Lynn Turner has lost a man before.
Oh, get away from me! Oh, my baby!
Glenn Turner's sudden death left his fellow officers suspicious. When they hear about Randy Thompson, they hit the phones.
I knew right then that Lynn had, murdered both of them. And there was no doubt in my mind, Lynn married both of them, and both of them was for money.
Get me out of here.
For money and for greed.
You had young men about the same age. They were both healthy. They should not have died just having the flu. What these two men had in common at the times that they died were this woman.
A red flag is up. The medical examiner is looking for something suspicious.
During the autopsy of Randy, the medical examiner discovered crystals in the kidneys, which was an indication of poisoning.
"6 years after his death, Glenn Turner's body is exhumed. He, too, has an awful secret.
Ultimately, they both died of ethylene glycol poisoning.
Ethylene glycol is a liquid found in the garages of millions of Americans. Most people know it as antifreeze. To Lynn Turner, it's a murder weapon, hidden in a bowl of Jell-O.
Ethylene glycol is a slightly sweet, odorless substance. It can be disguised rather easily in Jell-O or tea or a soft drink. But once it's ingested, within a matter of several hours, the individual begins to get extremely sick. They will experience headache, confusion, abdominal pain. They will be disoriented. And frequently, they will start to experience abnormal bleeding in their body as well.
You know, at any time, certainly while she watched these men suffer, she could have decided that she didn't want to do this, that it was not the right thing to do. She actually had the opportunity to stop it.
Lynn killed with antifreeze because it was easy. She didn't have to get dirty or bloody or stab him or anything like that. And she could secretly put it in something he was eating or drinking and quietly kill him. She thought she could get away with it.
Found guilty of 2 counts of murder. She was sentenced to life without parole.
When they said guilty, 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 I mean, it was just, it's like a load had been lifted off of you. I mean, it was just like, you know, thank God. Especially for Glenn's family.
I think she's broken and can't be fixed. And there's just some inner core to her that she doesn't have, that bit of humanity that the rest of us do.
Lynn Turner died in prison in August 2010.